Hi, so today I am very excited to share with you my Meet the Artist video where I tell you more about myself and to show you the process on how I made this art spread. I didn't get to show you the sketch because it took me longer than expected to make it, and unless you want this video to be longer than it is, and unless I want it to take up all the memory I have left on my laptop, I decided to just skip it and to just jump right into the outline. For context, Meet the Artist is essentially a thing that goes around the art community. I think it started during the Deviant Art days. But Meet the Artist is basically artists telling their friends, followers, the art community about who they are, what they are like, what they don't like, things that are associated with them, while drawing a self-portrait. And I realized that although I have made self-portraits before, I have never really had the chance to make a Meet the Artist spread, so here it is now. I've also realized that this probably would have worked better if this was my first video, which isn't, but we can't really do anything about that now. Anyway, for those who are familiar or are not familiar with me, I'm Franz. People online who have been following my art pages and art accounts knows me as Franz JPEG. I am a freelance illustrator, graphic designer, third-year college student, and a part-time English tutor. I am based in the Philippines. I was born on June 15th, which makes me a Gemini. But please don't ask me what my natal birth chart is because I have no idea. I only know that my ascendant is in Taurus and my moon is in Sagittarius, if I can remember properly, which I don't know what they mean or what they're interpreted as. I really try to understand astrology and how birth charts work because it's interesting, but it's also very confusing to me. So if anyone knows what my birth chart means or what it's interpreted as, please do tell me. That would be great. Now, if you want to know when I started doing art and graphic design, tough luck because I don't know myself. If you're asking graphic design as a career, then probably 2 or 3 years ago or when I started college. But art as a hobby, I have no memory of when I started painting and drawing on sketchbooks. When quarantine started, I bought my first drawing tablet with the money I got from freelancing. And ever since then, I've been practicing and putting more attention into digital art than traditional. And contrary to popular belief, illustration and graphic design are two completely different things. Graphic design is more on design methodology. It uses more problem-solving skills and communication skills when building logos, posters, or magazines, and it's mostly used commercially. Whereas illustration could be a subfield of graphic design, but leans towards arts and visuals more than commercials. I'll put a link below for my portfolio if you want to see my illustration and graphic design collection, things that I've built throughout this quote-unquote career. Anyway, for anyone who knows me or for anyone who follows me on my social media accounts, they are definitely aware of the fact that I am a big K-pop fan, and I have been a fan of the genre for years. And the main groups that I follow are NCT, SF9, and Red Velvet. And my main biases are Haechan, Youngbin, and Irene. I am also an anime fan. I like watching anime as a kid, and somehow, I don't know, I haven't been or I didn't become a fan or I wasn't updated with anime during high school. And I rewatched that note back in 2019 or early to 2020, and that opened the gates back up, and here I am again with an anime obsession. I am also anemic, but that doesn't stop me from drinking coffee every day, which my doctor says is bad. But don't worry, though I drink my medicine, so I'm fine. I have 2 dogs, Malos and Loki. They're my Shih Tzus, and other than my pets and favorite things in the world, they are also my emotional support system and happy pills because I am a very sensitive and emotional person. But they get the job done and they keep me back in line. I don't like the deep sea. For some reason, I think watching Titanic in Jaws at a young age caused that. I'm not sure. But thinking about the thought of me going into the middle of the sea is terrifying, especially since I can't swim and I panic when I'm underwater. But I do go to beaches. I just not deep into the water. Anyway, I had a few friends ask me questions to help me get some things to say in this video. One is what brushes I use, and the answer to that is in Medibang. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly, but in the application I draw on, I use lead pencils for sketches because the texture feels more natural and it has the feeling of an actual pencil. I use the pencil tool with the fade in and fade out setting for outlines, the pen tool for coloring, and I use the airbrush tool and blur tool for details. Sometimes I use other brushes for backgrounds, especially like the grid brush, but those are the brushes I use the most. They also asked if I'm planning on making more OCs in the future, and the answer is I hope so. I really hope so. I'm very particular when it comes to OCs, and I want their details to be complete. I'm also not a creative person in character building, so I mostly do fan art. Someone also asked me what other hobbies I do other than art and drawing, and those are probably reading, catching up on some anime, and baking if I have the time and the ingredients, or if I'm not lazy enough to clean up my own mess. Another friend asked me what advice I can give to the people who want to enter the field of arts or the field of graphic design, but aren't confident enough or have self-doubts to start. If I'm being honest with you, and I'm being honest, I've been drawing and doing graphic design for almost 3 years, and I still have a lot of doubts, and sometimes I don't feel particularly confident in the artwork that I post, or when I look back at the other artworks I made, I felt like I was lacking. So there really isn't an instant cure to fighting self-doubt other than just practicing and practicing. And I know it sounds like lazy advice, but believe me when I say this, if you do practice and if you watch tutorials or art tips on YouTube, it will definitely help you find an art style, or you discover art techniques and methods that you are comfortable with or that works with you. And if you do find that, it makes it a lot easier to fight the self-doubt and to be more confident and that will help you start in the field or industry. Also, think of it this way. Everyone starts somewhere. Like, I know when I started doing digital art, I know that my work isn't the best, and that's okay. Because I know that if I keep doing this, if I keep doing digital art, I'd improve. And I did. Thankfully, I did. And I still think that I have more room to be better. I definitely know that in the future, what I'm doing right now would be funny to me when I look back on it, because I will improve in the future. So, whether you think you're good at something now or not, I do suggest just doing it and just start messing around with it, because sooner or later, you'd see changes in your work, and over time, the self-doubt that you have in the beginning will definitely decrease by a lot. Improvement is present in everything. So if you don't start now, you won't see improvement and you won't see any changes. So start now even if you think you're not good, because you will be good and you will be better at it. And also, this isn't a question, but I also want to mention how art isn't restricted to drawing or painting or sculpting. A lot of people tend to forget that there are numerous forms of art, there are numerous types of art, and it could be through poetry or storytelling or dancing. Art can be filmmaking or theater performance or music making. It comes in so many different art forms, so you can definitely enter the field of arts through other forms if you aren't that confident in digital art or drawing. Anyway, that's basically it. That's me rambling about myself and everything else I can talk about. And I hope you learned more about me, or that you learned something about the things I've rambled about. I'll link the original post of my Meet the Artist spread on the description below if you want to see an HD copy of it. Also, I'll post it on Twitter, so if you have the time, it's not mandatory. If you have the time, please do like and retweet it to support a friend, to support an artist. Also, like this video and subscribe to my channel if you like this content and if you want to see more. Anyways, that would be all for my Meet the Artist video. I'll see you on the next video, and goodbye!